A closer look inside Halston's Manhattan townhouse. You're watching Cultured Elegance. Make sure to like and subscribe. Nestled amongst the lush greenery of an exclusive neighborhood, Halston's house stands as a timeless testament to the architectural ingenuity of Paul Rudolph. Completed in 1968, this iconic residence exemplifies the remarkable fusion of form, functionality, and meticulous craftsmanship that defined the mid-century modern movement. Located at 101 East 63rd Street in Manhattan's Upper East Side, a rarity in itself, as it brings the sharp lines and bold experimentation of modernism into one of New York's most traditionally conservative neighborhoods. The house served not only as a private residence, but also as a salon of sorts for New York's elite creative class. The building was originally commissioned by real estate lawyer Alexander Hirsch, who entrusted Rudolph, then the dean of Yale's School of Architecture, with complete creative freedom. The result was a sculptural tour de force, a vertical townhouse with a facade of poured concrete and glass brick, entirely devoid of ornament, yet layered in complexity. Inside, Rudolph created a dynamic spatial experience using multi-level platforms, open mezzanines, and floating staircases that defied conventional residential design. The structure felt at once industrial and ethereal, with polished aluminum walls, smoked mirrors, and theatrical lighting. Each element was custom designed by Rudolph, from the built-in furniture to the lighting systems, making the space feel less like a home and more like a living art installation. When fashion designer Halston purchased the house in 1974, it became synonymous with Studio 54 era glamour.
My name is Halston. I'm known for the clothes I design.
Halston worked closely with decorator Paul Fortune, and later with the legendary lighting designer Joe D'Urso, to transform the space into a monument to minimalist luxury. He painted much of the interior white, added plush white carpets, and installed sleek, low-slung furniture, often in suede or lacquer, emphasizing the dramatic spatial volumes rather than distracting from them. The house was both headquarters and sanctuary. Halston lived and worked here, held fittings for Liza Minnelli and Bianca Jagger in the double-height living room, and threw intimate parties that were as exclusive as they were decadent. The house also featured an enclosed rooftop garden, unusual for the time, which added a moment of natural softness to the otherwise architectural bravado. From this verdant perch, Halston could host cocktail hours or escape into solitude above the urban hum. As one approaches Halston's house, the sculptural interplay of concrete, glass, and steel immediately commands attention. There's a cinematic quality to the facade, a brutalist monolith quietly asserting itself among the brownstones and Beaux-Arts facades of the Upper East Side. The entrance is understated, almost hidden, drawing the visitor inward as if entering a secret realm. Rudolph's genius lies not just in what he builds, but in how he choreographs the experience of arrival. Rudolph's architectural ethos, pushing materials to their expressive limits, manipulating space through layering and light, is on full display. His dynamic use of verticality, staggered levels, and split planes produces an interior topography that is always in motion. Light filters in from unexpected angles. Shadows bend across polished aluminum surfaces. The house does not simply occupy space, it redefines how space is experienced. Inside, the elegance of Halston's house begins to unfold with theatrical precision. Here, Rudolph's avant-garde structural bravura meets Halston's disciplined minimalism. The effect is immersive, a sensory cocoon of texture, light, and proportion. Polished concrete floors ground the space in material honesty, while mirrored walls and metallic finishes reflect and refract, making the rooms feel both infinite and intimate. Overhead, the ceilings soar, yet there's never a sense of coldness or grandeur for grandeur's sake. Every plane, angle, and material choice contributes to a carefully calibrated sense of harmony. The central living area is a triumph of spatial orchestration. It rises dramatically, flooded with light from floor to ceiling windows that erase the boundary between interior and cityscape. This space is where Halston hosted close friends, clients, and cultural luminaries: Andy Warhol, Elizabeth Taylor, Yves Saint Laurent, beneath the glow of sculptural light fixtures and beside low-slung modular sofas upholstered in Ultrasuede. The interiors were curated not to impress, but to envelop, to heighten conversation, to dramatize stillness. The color palette, mostly shades of white, gray, and chrome, allowed the architecture itself to be the main character. Furniture, whether custom-built or hand-selected, was sparse and sculptural, echoing the architecture's clean lines while adding softness and tactility. Every object had intention. Nothing was excessive. Everything served the larger symphony of form and flow. As one moves deeper into the house, the rhythm of the layout continues to surprise. There are no hallways in the traditional sense. Instead, platforms rise and fall, connecting rooms at staggered heights in a manner that suggests both openness and distinction. The private quarters are discreetly nestled within this vertical choreography, offering refuge without isolation. The bedrooms are serene, almost monastic, designed as retreats from the visual intensity of city life and public socializing. Large, thoughtfully placed windows frame quiet urban vistas, while natural materials, wood, suede, linen, soften the spatial rigor. In the master suite, one finds the same restraint: an elegant bed positioned for optimal light, minimal furnishings, and a tactile palette that whispers instead of shouts. And now, a word from our beloved sponsor. Otter Spirit is a family-owned U.S. jewelry brand with a mission to protect California's wild sea otters. For every bracelet sold, a portion is donated to sea otter conservation. They specialize in natural gemstone jewelry, with over 80% of their stones graded A or higher, and none below grade A. Each bead is handpicked and quality tested, and all bracelets come with free exchanges and a 2-year warranty. As someone with a smaller wrist, I appreciate their range of band and bead sizes. A few of my favorites are Australian jade and malachite designs. Otter Spirit has something for everyone, and with my code CULTUREDELEGANCE20, you'll get 20% off your entire purchase. Check them out today with my link in the description. Rudolph's meticulous design extends beyond the walls of the house, transforming the outdoor spaces into seamless extensions of the interior. Far from an afterthought, the terraces and rooftop garden were integral to his vision, a rare move in the urban context of Manhattan, where open air and greenery are a luxury few can claim. The multi-level terraces, framed by minimalist planters and architectural railings, function like outdoor rooms, each offering a different experience of space and light. The rooftop garden, in particular, feels almost suspended in time, a private oasis amid the city's perpetual motion. Originally planted with sculptural greenery and arranged with the same visual rigor that defined the interiors, it was both a place of meditation and mingling. Halston, ever the curator of atmosphere, hosted intimate gatherings here at twilight, as the lights of the Upper East Side began to shimmer below. The view, open yet discreet, verdant yet controlled, was a living canvas of contrast and calm. Although the original design didn't include a swimming pool, later renderings and similar Rudolph-designed properties often featured reflecting pools or water elements as meditative counterpoints to concrete and steel. In keeping with that tradition, the sense of fluidity and serenity achieved through the terraces and gardens evokes the very essence of what a private retreat should be, not just beautiful, but experiential. Here, the architecture breathes, light dances, nature dialogues with structure. Halston's house is more than a residence. It is a triumphant collaboration between architect and occupant, an enduring dialogue between form and function, vision and lifestyle. Paul Rudolph's architectural grammar, his mastery of spatial tension, manipulation of natural light, and use of unexpected materials manifests itself in every corner of the home. His design philosophy wasn't about ornament or overt luxury, but about spatial experience, how one moves through a room, how surfaces reflect mood, how voids become volume. Halston, a master of silhouettes and surfaces in his own field, instinctively understood this. Just as he cut garments with daring simplicity to dramatize movement, Rudolph shaped rooms to heighten awareness. In this way, the house and its inhabitant mirrored each other. Both were arbiters of minimalism, charged with drama. Both played with discipline and indulgence. Over time, the house became mythologized as a symbol of both creative ambition and high-octane celebrity life. Its daring use of materials and space reflected Rudolph's genius, while Halston's imprint turned it into a social landmark of New York's golden age of fashion, art, and culture. In an age of digital saturation and architectural homogeny, Halston's house remains tactile, intentional, and human, inviting us to slow down, look closer, and inhabit space more consciously. It reminds us that mid-century modernism was never just a style. It was a revolution in how we define home. In the words of Paul Rudolph, he describes the abode. A world of its own, inward-looking and secretive, is created in a relatively small volume of space in the middle of New York City. Varying intensities of light are juxtaposed and related to structures within structures. Simple materials, plaster, paint, are used, but the feeling is of great luxuriousness because of the space. The one exposed facade reveals the interior arrangement of volumes by offsetting each floor and room in plan and section. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, and I'll see you in the next one.